Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you. At any given moment, there are approximately a zillion different crowdfunding campaigns happening on the web. Take a stroll through Kickstarter or Indiegogo and you'll find no shortage of weird, useless, and downright stupid projects out there, alongside some real gems. We've cut through the fidget spinners and janky iPhone cases to round up the most unusual, ambitious, and exciting new crowdfunding projects out there this week. That said, keep in mind that any crowdfunding project, even the best intentioned, can fail, so do your homework before cutting a check for the gadget of your dreams. July 1st. Giiro Posture Robot. Here is DT's own Luke Dormehl with the details. Imagine telling someone half a century ago that, here in 2018, our watches would order us to get up out of our chairs, we would have always listening smart speakers in our homes, and a data-collecting tech giant would probably know more about you than your immediate family. 1984-style dystopia? Jetsons-style utopia? Whatever it is, it's happening. The latest example of this is a new Alexa-connected gadget recently launched on Kickstarter, taking the form of a miniature robot and connected smart mat that will nag you to stand up straight, even in the comfort of your own home. Called Giiro Bot, the associated mat's referred to as the Giiro Mat. It looks a bit like a cute Minion from Despicable Me, but is, in fact, a pretty nifty posture coach that will warn you whenever you begin standing in a way it deems to be less than optimal. The Giiro Mat uses more than 600 sensors that can detect 256 levels of pressure to draw a hyper-accurate map of how you stand, Gaze Lab CEO Beeline told Digital Trends. It tracks your posture over time, provides alerts, shows weight distribution in real time, and makes recommendations on ways to improve your posture. The Giiro Bot is a personal posture robot, paired with Giiro Mat. It sits on a desk and mimics your posture, while you work. It provides feedback with 9 different facial expressions, by moving its legs, and leaning in the same direction as you do. Beeline Modo. GPS is great. It allows us all to get from A to B with effortless efficiency and speed. But all that simplicity does come at a cost. The more we use GPS, the more reliant on it we become. Think about the last destination you went to with the help of GPS. Could you find your way back to that spot without Google Maps? These days, the answer is probably no for most of us. We're so used to using computers to navigate that we've lost our ability to do it ourselves. But what if it didn't have to be like that? What if there was a way to get navigational assistance, but in a way that's easier to wean yourself off of? That's exactly the idea behind Beeline, a smart compass of sorts that helps you get to your destination without providing a rigid set of turn-by-turn directions. When locked in place on bicycle or motorcycle handlebars, the compass provides navigational cues in the form of an arrow that points toward the destination. The Beeline offers 2 different modes of navigation, either providing turn-by-turn directions for the fastest route, or a more free-flowing option that points the rider in the general direction, but allows him or her to choose a path for themselves. The company's original product was designed for cyclists, but is now back on Kickstarter with the motorcycle version. Nils, wearable charging cable. Until wireless charging becomes ubiquitous, keeping charging cables handy everywhere you go is an unfortunate fact of modern life. If you're anything like me, you probably keep a bunch at your house, at your workplace, and a couple in your backpack or purse just in case. Wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to fiddle with all those cords, and could just keep one with you for every occasion? Well, that's exactly what the Nils Cable is designed for. It's a wearable charging cord that pulls double duty as a fashion-forward bracelet. It's pretty straightforward, just a short, flexible, and durable USB charging cable that's outfitted with a clever locking system that allows the 2 ends to fit together securely. To use it, all you've got to do is wrap it around your wrist, snap the ends together, and head out. Then, when it's time to charge, you can just bust off the bracelet and start juicing up. To be fair, Nils definitely isn't the first company to make something like this. You can snag one on Amazon right now if you don't feel like waiting. But as far as we can tell, Nils is far cheaper and far better looking, so it's probably worth the wait. SpeakSee, auto-transcriber for deaf users. Here's a quick excerpt from the full article we published earlier this week. In case you hadn't noticed, we love gadgets here at Digital Trends. But, as much as we like them, gadgets can often fall under the nice-to-have banner, as opposed to being things which fundamentally transform our lives on a regular basis. The same isn't true when it comes to accessibility devices, aimed at helping people with disabilities carry out the kind of day-to-day tasks many of us take for granted. That is why we're excited about a new crowdfunding campaign created by a team of Netherlands-based entrepreneurs. Called SpeakSee, it's a multi-mix system which will accurately transcribe conversations for deaf users, rendering everyday chat between groups of people as a multi-person script. Both of my parents have severe hearing loss since birth, Giiro Bot, co-founder and CEO, told Digital Trends. Throughout my life, I've seen the communication barriers that they had to face. My father has difficulties following meetings at work, and misses out on a lot of relevant information he needs to do his job. Enabling him and millions of others around the world to be a full part of conversations again is what inspired my co-founder Marcel van der Ven, Joshua Flowers and I to create SpeakSee. Kick Asteroid, Planetary Defense Campaign. Beeline and his companions at the Planetary Society are worried about asteroids. Every few thousand years, Earth gets hit with an asteroid the size of a bus, and it causes a lot of damage. But every few million years, Earth gets hit with a much bigger rock, one that's roughly the size of a football stadium. When that happens, it's catastrophic. The last one that size wiped out the dinosaurs, and the Planetary Society is on a mission to ensure the same thing doesn't happen to humans. So how exactly are they going to stop a giant space rock from smashing into us? Well, the first step is getting people to care about it, and that's exactly what this Kickstarter campaign is designed to do. The idea here is to raise awareness by getting people behind the Kick Asteroid campaign by wearing t-shirts and slapping stickers on stuff. The hope is that by starting the conversation, eventually our lawmakers will recognize that asteroid defense is something we should probably be thinking about, and that we should allocate some funding for satellites to keep an eye on the void. So in other words, by buying one of Beeline's t-shirts, you'll be helping to save the planet from Armageddon. You're basically Bruce Willis if you pledge support to this campaign. Thank you for watching our video. Please give us a big like, subscribe to our channel for new videos every day with amazing cars. Leave us your opinion in the comment section on the video. Thank you.